Welcome to the Business Kitchen Show, where every week we'll be cooking up some fun recipes to help you succeed in business. Our guests will be sharing time-tested and delicious business recipes, as well as some new cutting-edge ones. Every recipe has a story, and every chef adds their own unique flavor to the dish. Just like each business strategy has its own story, and owners work hard to make their mark. Here at the Business Kitchen, you can be sure to find your own recipe for success.
Hello, I'm Natalia Levy. Welcome to another amazing episode of the Business Kitchen Show. And here at the Business Kitchen, we encourage you to look for the solutions outside the traditional recipe box. If you want to watch this live on video, always follow us on facebook.com/Business Kitchen Show and visit our website to subscribe to our newsletter. Today's episode is all about turning actual recipes into products, and I am thrilled. So I'd like to welcome my co-host, Tatiana. Hi, Tatiana. How
Hi,
are
Natalia.
you doing, my friend?
Good. How are you?
I am great. How are things in Sarasota?
Hot. I'm ready for winter.
Yes, it's pretty hot here in Florida too, but I am very excited because we're about to go into a nice long weekend, Labor Day weekend. Do you have any fun plans for the long weekend?
Just a couple boat trips out in Sarasota Bay.
Oh, there's nothing like being out on the water and enjoying our beautiful Florida weather. And I know for a lot of folks up north, it's probably at least like one of the last weekends that sort of caps the summer. So it's nice to be outside and enjoy it. So I'm really excited about today's episode. I would love
Me
to
too.
welcome our guest. Her name is Katinka Banks. So let me read her introduction because it's quite an introduction. Culinary nutrition expert and founder of Katinka's Nourishing Kitchen, Katinka Banks has nearly a decade of experience helping those with food intolerances enjoy meals with their family again. After a barely functioning 30-year-old burnout corporate professional with various chronic illnesses and a thriving mother and business owner, Katinka used her 8 years of experience in the health and wellness field to now dedicating her life to aiding others in living a vibrantly healthy lifestyle by giving them back their favorite staples that are not just healthy and nutrient dense, but also supporting healing from chronic illnesses. Katinka is from Hungary, where every meal includes bread in some shape or form, which is actually, I'm from Russia, so I can relate to that because in Russia we use bread was a total staple with every meal. So Katinka formulated blends that bring the scent of freshly baked bread into the home without gluten, sugar, grain, or any allergies. Nothing but optimal nutrition. Katinka, welcome to the show. Welcome to Business Kitchen Show.
Hi, thank you
Hey,
so
Katinka.
much for having me. I'm super excited. Hello, Tatiana and Natalia. Thank you, thank you.
Oh, it must be all of that beautiful, delicious nutrients that make you look so vibrant and radiate happiness and joy.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you to say. Thank you.
Katinka, you have this saying you like to say, from burnout to blast off. Can you tell us more about why you say that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of like a catchy phrase that literally encompasses the recent 8 years for me. 8 years ago, I was really struggling. I was working in a corporate world, and being a high achiever, I worked 16-hour days and just literally burned life on both ends, partying hard and working hard and not really paying attention to my body. And unfortunately, that really guided me down on a downhill health route. And then I'm thankfully for so many practitioners around me, I started to turn that around. And 8 years ago, I did 180 just to make sure that, okay, I actually can focus and really stay alive, because I couldn't focus clearly anymore. I couldn't get out of bed. I had lots of chronic things going on already at that point. And then slowly I learned about my body. I learned about what works for my nutrition levels. I learned about what lifestyle choices really support me the best. So now I'm really here to talk about how amazing life is when you do just a few changes here and there. I had to do a little bit more because of my chronic things, but normal people just need to do small changes here and there. And oh my God, there's a whole much better world out there because you can just feel so much better. So that's really my passion, helping people to live healthier and in a very delicious way, because people think that, eating healthy can be eating carrots, but no, that's absolutely not the case, as you know really well.
Yes, Katinka, I think that a lot of listeners can actually relate to the concept of burnout. So many of us, especially in the last several months, we have been I feel like a lot of people have been reconsidering what they are doing, how are they approaching life, maybe slowing down, maybe rethinking the patterns that they've been living with. And I, as a chef myself, and I studied wellness for over a decade, I know we have done some amazing things, even as far as me. And even me coming into the restaurants and doing some wellness training for our teams. So there's a lot of value in what you're saying about the burnout, because and nutrition plays a huge part in helping our bodies to restore. So how has your business evolved from coaching through, was your journey to start with coaching or cooking workshops and then creating the product line? What did that journey look like?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to share the journey, but I really wanted to reflect on what you said, because I agree. I think we can look at the recent six months almost now exactly on a better side, because people really have the chance now to rethink what I did 8 years ago, and I had to really stall my life. I had to take 6 months out as a sabbatical from my job because I just needed the break. I felt like I need to slow down and figure this out for myself. People now actually have that. Now I know they have kids at home and there's a little bit more into it, but I think this is a huge chance for us to understand what really our bodies need and what makes us tick and what makes us happy, and how we can really enhance our lives and take it to the next level. So going to your question about how my business started, back 8 years ago, when my health was going so south and I had to do that crazy 180 change, I met a holistic nutritionist first, who literally just gave me, she was absolutely fabulous, but she gave me a list of these are the things you can't eat. I was like, oh, okay, what do I do? How do I eat? What do I eat? So I started to flip it and say, okay, these are the things I actually can eat. So always looking at it from the positive side and not really thinking about I can't eat these things. These are the things I can eat. And also slowly over the time, the can't actually transitioned into I choose not to. I think that's a huge mental shift change as well, that I can eat it if I want to, of course. I'm just gonna feel awful. So the can't turned into I choose not to. And then with the rest, the things I could eat, I had to play. I had to learn, because I moved to the States about 14 years ago. And that's when I started to cook. I never had to cook before. So on that cooking journey, it was a whole new level for me, because I had a very limited amount of ingredients. So I just had to be creative. And then I found these two different schools that I absolutely fell in love with. One that helped me to become a health coach. So I went to the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, and then I wanted to dig deeper. Exactly, I know. I think we talked about that. And that school, I think, gives you a really good foundation. But I really wanted to dig deeper into food. So I went to the Academy of Culinary. I had a fabulous education about how to cook meals for healing purposes, really looking at food as medicine and how to mix and match it for the best consistency, the best flavor. So that's really where my passion started, and my coaching practice that I started after becoming a health coach, that started to evolve into a workshop based setting because I realized I love cooking classes. So at the Academy of Culinary Nutrition, I learned how to do a cooking class and really tell the story about the food, involve people, make it inspiring. That was so important for me to show them in front of them, even cutting an onion, like, hey guys, I'm actually not a chef. You don't need to be fancy, because people get intimidated if I cut up an onion super fancy, like, oh, I can do that. No, that's not how it works. Get into the kitchen, do it, cut it up, throw a few things together, and then it tastes amazing. So that's how my cooking classes were going on. And then people love my bread. As an appetizer, I always shared a bread that I have been baking for my own healing journey for years at that time. And then I even shared the recipe. I told them, guys, here it is. It's so easy. You throw these 6 ingredients together and then you can whip it up whenever you want. But they said, oh, do you have it thrown together? Maybe I buy one. So that's really how my product business started, that people just said, oh, I like this bread. I don't want to mix those 6 ingredients. So can you sell it for me? That's how
So it's a
really the
shortcut.
idea.
Yeah, you created a shortcut for people. I love that.
Absolutely.
That is
Thank
incredible.
you.
And for anyone watching that may have an amazing recipe that they would want to launch in a product, what would you say were some mistakes that you can share that you made in the beginning so that they can avoid those?
Yeah, that's a great question. So first of all, I think what's very important if you want to launch a product, do proper diligent market research. So is your product idea unique? What is your unique selling proposition? Why is it different? And really look through if it's already on the market. It might be already on the market in California in a small farmer's market, that's fine. But think about is this idea unique for your own market where you can start growing it. And then the second part is, we're talking about food. So how perishable is it? How long you can keep it on shelf? And I think this is very important. And that's why I decided that was one of the reasons why I decided making mixes versus making a bread. Obviously, I couldn't scale it in my kitchen. But also this way, the flour has an expiration date of a year. So this way, if you have stock, it's sitting because maybe you had something and you couldn't sell them through, then you will not have to discard all of those. So I think shelf life is something very important, and you need to look through each of the ingredients, and you can just put it on your shelf and say, how long is it gonna last? How long is it gonna stay? The consistency and the flavor that I really want and that is perfect for my customer. So I think in food business, that's very important. And then also you need to think about your packaging. I think this is the third one where I had to learn my lessons, because if you make a product like mine that the customer has to make it in their own kitchen, you need to deal with people's ambiguity about kitchen knowledge and kitchen skills and not knowing how much they know. So I had to make sure that my description, my recipe description is super, super tight. Even though for my product, you add eggs, oil, and water, which is really simple. There are people who are not as comfortable, so they need to know every detail on what consistency should be so that they feel comfortable. And that's what really helped is what really helped with me is farmers markets. So number one thing I recommend for everyone is, in Florida, we are very, very lucky because we have the cottage law, which means that up to a certain amount annual sales, you can actually sell it out of your own kitchen as long as you give it hand to hand and you don't ship it. So farmers markets are the perfect example. Go to a farmers market and test it and ask people, how does it taste? How do you like it? What could I make better? How did you make it when you have a customer coming back? And you can learn so much from them. I had a customer telling me like, oh, I don't make bread. It's just me. I always make a pancake for myself, just 2-3 pancakes a day. So then I learned, oh, maybe I can make a pancake from this blend. So
that's a good idea to add creativity. And I think that you are so right with giving people directions on how to make something. So for example, we have 2 family restaurant locations called Speaks Clam Bar, and we put together meal kits for people to take home. And I actually ended up filming. Yes, I ended up filming the instructions step by step and then putting them on our YouTube channel. Have you done that?
That is on my list.
Okay.
Yes, that is
Yeah.
exactly my next step to do. I need to figure out the right setting and then just do it, because I think that is the way to do it so that people really feel comfortable. Description is one thing, but people love videos nowadays.
Nothing
So I
like
do
video.
highly
Yeah.
once you have your recipe down, you get all the feedback from every customer, make a tight video. And that is actually advice for myself, because that is my next step too, just to make sure
Right.
that I do a tight video for everyone. Click on it, 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes, you can watch it, boom, boom, boom. And you get inspired, like, oh my God, this is so
Right,
easy.
right. And maybe another thing that companies can do is also, as you as a chef, I always inspire people creativity. So I just did a cooking segment on TV, and I reinvented fried rice, and the host was asking me, well, can I use a red onion in this recipe versus a normal yellow onion? And I said, well, why not? Because that you don't have an ingredient, it shouldn't stop you from cooking. So also as business owners, from the business perspective, I think that we should encourage the customers to see, show us maybe different ways that they are using the product that we are offering to them. And I feel like this way it also encourages that customer engagement, because otherwise we are just presenting a product and then we don't get any customer feedback. So I think that that's a really interesting point in getting that engagement from the customers as well.
Yeah,
I've
exactly. And
also
once you
heard,
engage, oh, sorry,
oh,
go
you're
ahead.
okay. I also heard people that can't buy all the materials and stock it up for a year shelf life, they'll do the market research, and then they'll put a few feelers out there with their marketing, and they'll pre-sell the products before they put it together, package it, and stock it up for a year's time, just to see how much they sell before, they actually decide to launch that product fully.
That is a wonderful idea. You can create a wait list, exactly, and just put it out there like, hey, how would this go? And figure it out from pretty much flipping it. But I love that idea. Exactly. Yeah.
Tatiana always has some great ideas. We always
I
bounce
might
around
I might
a
try
lot.
that with my new blend. I have a few new blends in my back pocket, so that's a wonderful idea. Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's
awesome.
a good way to
So
test.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Because I know that there is there are a couple of trends of pre-selling the product. So no matter what product you have, whether it's a digital product, whether it's which is a digital product, we're talking on his own online course. And then I had a friend of mine, Corinne. She launched a line of clothing called Zoe Goes, and it's the capsule wardrobe. So she was also pre-launching. So it's interesting to for businesses to gauge the interest. And another way to gauge interest is to do surveys. So it's like when you were saying about doing market research, that is critical to do market research.
Absolutely. Yeah. So nowadays there are very easy ways to do a survey. Pretty much all platforms just offer it for you. You can. I've done one on Mailchimp a few weeks ago about where my customers are. So that's also an important piece on how to find them, because you need to know what media they consume. So I actually just asked them
Right.
about, hey, who are the trusted leaders who you look up to in the health field? What trends do you follow? Who do you follow? What media do you consume? Because that survey will give me the right ways how to start marketing it, and where to start really putting those feelers out.
Sure,
I
that's super
actually
smart.
have
Super smart. Great idea. Go ahead.
I actually have a restaurant that I do social media for, and they've expressed interest in launching a product with some of their homemade dips. And what I recommended to them, which I think they're going to start doing, is selling their dips to go in their restaurant. And if their clients like it enough, they would eventually think about launching those in stores.
We actually at Speaks we're doing the same thing, which I don't know if I'm
Oh, are you?
well. Okay, you heard it here first at the Business Kitchen Show. So at Speaks Club Bar, we are getting ready to launch because our customers keep asking us for sauces. But anyway, I want to bring your attention back to Katinka because we have just a couple of minutes left. Katinka, what is real quick? Give us a 1 minute. What do you feel is the secret ingredient in your business, and where can our listeners and viewers find you?
Ooh, secret ingredients is
Of
definitely the
your
love that I
success,
put
to
into
your
making them.
success.
The
Yeah.
secret ingredient to my success is that, oh my goodness. It is, I think, the fact that really it is good for you and delicious and simple to make. So there is three things that I think have to come together in a baking mix: delicious, easy to make, and nutritious. So there are no fillers in it, no white starches, sugars, preservatives, additives. That's
Sure. Where
it.
can people find you?
You can find me at katinkasnourishingkitchen.com, which is my website. You can read a little bit more about me there or look at my product. And you can also follow me on Instagram, which is Katinkas_nourishing kitchen.
Katinka, we love
Awesome.
you so much. I cannot wait to try your bread mix. Thank you so much for being on the show with us and sharing such great tips. So for any business out there, think about the things that Katinka just said. I'm going to do a quick wrap up. So she said about the importance of doing market research to understand your audience. Tatiana, what did you hear? There were a lot of great gems that we discussed today.
Yeah, I think passion is the biggest thing. And if you really feel strongly about a product, just go for it.
Yes, that is such a great one because so many of us do start either a product or a service from our passion, and you could see how passionate she is about
Oh, yeah.
her health, and it took her a minute to some time to figure out her issues and how she can help not only herself but help other people all around the world. We thank you so much for tuning in and listening to us and watching us live. We will be back next week with a really, really special guest. I cannot wait to unveil her to you. I will unveil her on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Business Kitchen Show. We cannot wait to see you next week. And the conversation always continues after the show. And we will see you next week. Thanks so much for listening.
Bye.
Healthy Intent inspires you to live a healthier life. It's so easy to bump health down the priority list behind the business phone calls, family commitments, and, let's face it, anything else, until we are diagnosed with something that forces us to make a change. Their online Healthy Cooking Academy has incredible classes that will help you make significant progress in your kitchen, whether cooking for yourself or your family. Or you can subscribe to Healthy Intent YouTube channel for quick tips and more fun recipes. We all want to look better, feel better, and have more energy for life and business. Start every day with Healthy Intent and follow them at healthyintent.com.
You've been listening to the Business Kitchen Show. Tune in each week for saucy interviews with business owners and to pick up fresh ingredients for your business success. The conversation continues after each episode on the Business Kitchen Show Facebook page. For the full show menu, visit businesskitchenshow.com.
We're everywhere you are at